Doubles and coffee. Yesterday I went to the Body Walk, the annual event for celebrating Down syndrome children and people. And afterwards, must talk a little politics. A man say, Anil boy, Kamala and all, it was real good, boy. No joke. The performance, the roads, the water and thing, boy. Boy, I was walking and I had a little company and I could hire 10 people and thing. He said the economy was really good. I could get US, I can't get US now and thing. He said, boy, but that Section 34 thing is the worst thing, boy. That was corruption. So I sit him down. I say, you ready to listen? Section 34. Never mind that the only thing that could have possibly happened in Rowley's allegations of Section 34, fueled by Emailgate, is that two men, after 10 years, would have get off a charge that they get off anyway 18 years later. Forget that when the Chief Justice and the DPP alerted the Prime Minister Kamala Persad to the risks of Section 34, she immediately summoned Parliament and corrected it. Forget all of that. Let me say what Rowley says is true. And two human beings that don't impact all their life get off some allegations. But you have no water. Your road bad. Crime and blood and bullet all over you. You're getting extorted. You're afraid your family get kidnapped. They have no job. You can't even take a holiday and get no US. The economy shattered and bankrupted. Your children going to have to pay back debt that Colmimbot and Rowley keep borrowing, spending, no new revenue streams. Everything in total chaos. Education system in chaos. Your children, some of them have degrees and can't get no work. But let me just tell you something. If all you find Section 34, as Rowley say, was so terrible, what about fake oil? Kamala Persad Bissessar wasn't no friend with the two fellas who could have benefited from Section 34. Rowley's best friend, his PNM minister and PNM board of Petrotrin, made allegations, vetted them, checked them, audited 3 times to say that oil that was coming out could not possibly be, that the numbers were just too high. Rowley is the Prime Minister in charge of the Ministry of Energy, in charge of Petrotrin, in charge of appointing the board of Petrotrin. Rowley is the National Security Council head, in charge of basically directing and creating policy positions for the police, the army, the strategy, the Coast Guard. Rowley in charge. Rowley says, that is my friend. And then takes decisions that somehow miraculously his friend has benefited from. Rowley fires the Minister of Energy who dared to conduct an audit to protect your resources. He fired the entire board. He fired the next board when the chairman of the board went in and said, I never tell Rowley to close down Petrotrin at all. Rowley tell the country he not closing down Petrotrin. And he closed it down and take his own personal lawyer and put him in charge of the section that the police would need to go to investigate any allegation of fake oil, ghost oil, or magnified oil. The police would need to get statements from people, from officers, from managers, from men working the gate, who signed the logbook, the pump man, who signed out the car, the GPS, how far it went, how long the pump run, how much oil could I go. All of that would have had to be done. But when Petrotrin closed down and all these people scatter all over the world, police can't investigate. Then what happened? Rowley put his own personal lawyer, as I said, in charge of heritage. They go to arbitration to try and sort out this mess. The senior counsel paid for by taxpayers and hired by Rowley say the arbitration was nonsensical, it was wrong, appeal. Rowley, personal lawyer, come in and say, well, we hear what the Deborah Peak senior counsel saying, but we taking advice from some counsel here, junior counsel. They did not appeal the matter. The result is that Rowley Friend gets an award of $118 million of your money, then gets Stuart Smallpin Young smiling with his daughter, who was a PNM senator, of the man who has cussed down the place bareback right through, using racist epithets like normal, like he does drink that for coffee and doubles in the morning. Man who does go and drink and tell man to flim him and cuss down the place and cuss Kamala in the most vile manner. That man, Stuart Smallpin Young, shaking and smiling his daughter's hand. Rowley moved she from being a senator, but they were such good friends that the woman was a senator, PNM government senator. And they get a next set of oil to dig out the ground for 10 years worth $900 million plus $118 million. $1 billion of your money jumping up. And all you're talking about Section 34 that had not 1 cent of taxpayer dollars in jeopardy in any form or fashion, even if you believe whatever the hell Rowley say, that 2 men would have get away. But look, this man get away and gone, and on top of that take up $1 billion. So if all you find Section 34 was the worst thing ever, what you call fake oil? Multiply by 100, and then you could also add in, if that is not enough for Rowley and Smallpin and the PNM, what about Malcolm Jones? Malcolm Jones, who put Petrotrin and put this country in debt to the tune of $13 billion as an executive president and chairman of Petrotrin, which meant he's like the CEO. He could take decisions. Not like a regular chairman who had to go to board meeting and really don't have the power to impact the day-to-day decisions. Malcolm Jones was in court. The government under Kamala Persad-Bissessar and Anand Ramlogan had Malcolm Jones in court to get back £100 million, $1 billion and more of your money. And what did Rowley do? Rowley and Faris Al-Rawi with Stuart Smallpin Young in the office of the Attorney General simply got a man who we later found out, Vincent Nelson, had been paid over $25 million of your taxpayers' money to change a detailed, solicited, paid for opinion as a Queen's Counsel back then, to then write and say, hey boy, all what I say before, forget that, the case weak. Withdraw the case. And they signal it 2 or 3 days before it happened, before it came, showing that they knew what was coming from Vincent Nelson. The Privy Council could not believe what they were hearing when they adjudicated on that matter. The law lords were saying, but how is this possible? What madness is this going on in Trinidad and Tobago, that a government could float the idea of something that later happened? The only rational response is that they knew it was going to happen, and they withdraw the case against Malcolm Jones to recoup your money. Section 34 had not 1 cent of your money in jeopardy, not 1 laptop, not 1 pothole, not 1 road paving, not 1 water well, nothing, not 1 textbook. So if, as all you say, Section 34, as Rowley said, was the worst thing, then fake oil and withdrawing Malcolm Jones from out of the court, what you call that? Think about it. And on top of that, while Rowley in government 9 years, your road bad, no water, no jobs, no forex, energy sector decimated, no refinery, Point Lisa's gone down from 74% down to 28%, no jobs, crime out of hand, education flopping from SCA, Cape, CSEC, across the board, no money for sport, national teams, no facilities, no maintenance, country in a total chaos, businesses shutting down. PNM sucks all around. So when I finish talk to that man, he's telling me, boy, I vote in UNC.